Hi everyone. Welcome to the 6th episode of Knits and Pieces.
Can you believe it is the 6th episode already?
Oh, I know.
That's
I know,
half a
but
year that
time
we've
goes
been
by.
doing
I know,
this
time
already.
goes by so fast. Anyways, I'm Noelle.
I'm Jacqueline.
And this is Zoe. And we're coming to you from London, Ontario, Canada.
Yeah.
I know we've said London before and then forgot to stipulate, but...
Ontario, Canada.
Yes, Ontario, Canada. We don't have British accents,
No.
so... Yeah, is that funny, Zoe? And this is our, we'd like to thank everybody for watching.
Yep.
We thank everybody that's subscribed. We're having such fun doing it, and we're hoping that everyone's having fun watching it.
Yep.
So for our 3G section this time, we're all wearing
Summer Shorty socks.
summer shorty socks. So Zoe's got hers on right here.
You can see hers.
And we have matching ones that you saw in the beginning. We can take them off and show you what they look
we'll
like.
Put a picture up.
Yeah,
Here,
Jacqueline's are Rose City Rollers, and that pattern is by Mara Catherine Bryner, and that's on Ravelry,
Yep.
and it's a free pattern. And they are actually done in online Supersocke cotton stretch. So the yarn that they're done in actually has quite a bit of cotton in them, which they do feel different when you've got them on the wool socks. So I think they're going to be nice and they're going to breathe a lot, because there's still a lot of times when you're in air conditioning that you need a pair of socks on. Okay,
yeah.
And then Zoe's are just a little pattern that I kind of adapted. Kate Atherley baby socks is kind of from the heel down, but then I wanted them to look a little bit like the Rose City Rollers, so I just did the little roll cuff, and then I put in a couple of rows of ribbing so that they'd stay on her feet a little better, and then continued with the baby sock pattern.
Yep.
And then mine are, I can't get it off. I should have took this off before we started. Okay, so mine are the Feel Good socks, and these are by Kate Atherley, and they're a little bit different because they've got kind of the little bit of a lace cuff on them.
Yep.
And again, those ones are also done in the online Supersocke cotton.
Yep.
So basically, out of the one ball, I got my socks, your socks,
And
then
her socks.
Zoe's, just the toe of Zoe's is in that,
Yep.
and then this body of Zoe's is in this one. It's a Katia Bombay, but it's basically the same composition. It's got the, it does have some wool in it, so it's
Yep.
wool, it's cotton, and then it's got some nylon in it, and they're pretty stretchy. Like they've got a bit of, it feels like elastic in them. So those are what we're wearing for our 3G.
Yep.
And then Zoe has on a little sweater that I made for her baptism,
Yep.
but it wasn't really
It'd be,
cold
yeah,
enough on her
warm day,
baptism, so
so.
she didn't end up wearing it. But that pattern is Aida, A-I-D-A,
Yep.
and that pattern's on Ravelry. It's a top-down raglan, and it is by OGE Knitwear.
Okay.
And hers is done in Mary Maxim Baby's Best DK Sport. So I did that on a 4mm needle. It's the size 9 to 12 months. And if you can see it, she's still got lots of room in that sweater. She'll be able to wear that for a long time. And it just took like almost 2 skeins. I didn't use the whole of 2 skeins. And that color's just called Ecru, which is basically an off-white, and it'll go with
a lot of
anything.
stuff.
And it's got just this cute little kind of leaf design down the front. It's just got the one button up at the top, which is nice because it was hard enough to get the one button
On her,
to put it on her.
yeah.
So it's nice just to have the one button for a baby. So now on to admin.
So for our giveaway for the Leo and Roxy yarn set, which looks like this, it's come to a close and we've picked the winner, and it is Grandmama 1 on Ravelry. So please get in touch with Mom with all your details and we'll get that out to you. And she said that if she won this, that she might either do a cowl or socks, because she tries to knit a season ahead, which sometimes works out, sometimes doesn't.
I think we all have plans that don't work out, or
Yeah,
sometimes
exactly.
do work out. And we want to thank Leo and Roxy again for this lovely yarn. It would be beautiful to make something out of. And I'll mention again, the colorway was called West
In the dark.
West in the Dark is this one,
Yep.
right? And then the other one was Stephen
Stephen
West.
West,
Because Stephen West, basically, if a lot of his patterns are knit with this brightly
Bright
colored
colors.
yarn, and then the West in the Dark's really neat because it's got the darker, it's almost a navy, I think, navy
Yeah,
and black,
with
but then
pops
it's
of
got
this
pops
color.
of all the other colors in it, so it'll make
Really nice.
something really nice. So
Together,
hopefully
yeah.
our winner will let us know what she makes with it, and we can show that picture maybe later on the podcast. So
That's good. And then talking about things you like to knit in the summer, we're just going to put out for our knit along again that it's still open till the end of August. So get your entries in.
Yes.
You can knit any size, sleeveless, short sleeved, any summer knit that.
yeah, summer knit, 3/4 length sleeves.
Yeah.
It can be for an adult. It can be for a baby. It can be out of cotton, linen. It can be out of wool if you're happy wearing wool in the summer.
Yeah.
So get those in there, and we're gonna put the prize together shortly after this episode.
Yep, it'll most likely be a skein of yarn, a tea towel that Mum
A hand woven tea towel.
and some tea.
Yeah.
So check our Instagram page because we'll have something posted probably
Before the next podcast.
Yeah, for the next podcast
Yep.
for sure.
So so keep tuned on that and keep knitting.
Yeah.
Now on to finished objects.
Or should we rename this Noelle's projects?
Do you have any finished objects?
I do not have any finished objects this podcast.
Oh my god.
Not even one. Because I have an 8-month-old baby who is crawling, pulling herself up on things.
I know, she just learned how to go up the stairs
Oh my
today.
gosh. And I used to be able to sit on the floor with her while she was playing, and now it's like every few seconds I have to pull her away from something that she wants to be into. And the rare occasion that she is, just playing there nicely, I get my knitting out, start to knit, and as soon as I start to knit, she wants to be over there.
She
She's
wants to
interested in my
knitting, that's
knitting, which
right.
I don't want to discourage
No,
her
no,
from
no.
knitting, but at the same time, I don't want her to pull apart what I'm working on. So.
Okay.
Maybe in a couple of months we'll have a little bit more time again.
We'll see.
Hopefully next podcast. I do have a lot
But you
finished.
had a lot of progress.
Not finished, progress, yes.
Yeah.
But
So I mean,
no
that's the
echoes.
whole thing. Like, are you enjoying the knitting when you do get a chance to sit down and knit?
When I do get a chance, isn't
Right. But
often.
do you enjoy it when you sit down and get a chance to knit?
Yes, I do.
Then that's the whole purpose of
Exactly.
it, right? So you're really enjoying the process. Then you got to keep up doing that. And I think you don't realize how much you actually got done. Like, you need to put a progress keeper. Like, so at
I
the end of a
know.
podcast,
I'm bad about that. I
put a
don't
progress
always use
keeper
progress
on,
keepers.
and then you can see how much you got done,
That
and then
is
it's
true.
a little bit more, like then you
I
can
see
see
that,
the progress
even
and
though I
know
don't have
that.
a finished object, I do
That's
have
right.
progress.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I mean, the projects that you're working on are big projects. Like, they're sweaters and socks are knit out of skinny yarn. Like, it takes a
Yeah.
while to do them.
Yeah.
So, like, I think you should just enjoy the process and not be so worried about whether
I know.
something's finished or not. When you get to be my age, you'll get to do all this, but then you'll be like, oh, I don't have a baby that just sits up my lap.
That is it. When it comes down to it, I'd rather spend the time that I can while she's little.
That's right.
Enjoying while she's little. 'cause
That's right.
It's not going to be forever.
Because you don't sit on my lap anymore. So-
No. So, meanwhile, Mom has many finished objects
I have a
to
few.
show.
I have a few finished objects. Okay, so the first two actually that I'm going to show, they are finished, but basically on the last podcast, they were pretty much finished other than
Just
a
weaving
few
in the
finishing
ends.
up things, right? So the first one is my Myra wrap. I did put the tassels on it. Yeah, let's see which is that. That's the wrong side, so that's the right side. So that's all finished now, and I really do like the tassels. I'm glad I put them on, and that used up all the yarn too.
Yeah.
So, and it's a nice big, and it's light. You
Yeah,
can
it's
feel
really
that,
light.
yeah, like it's really light. And this is in the Jamieson Shetland Ultra, so it's their lace weight. And so I did that on a 3.25 millimeter needle, which is, I believe, a little bit smaller than what the pattern calls for, but I like the fabric,
Yeah.
the way it turned out, and the shawl's still plenty big enough, so I'm happy that I did it on that size.
Mm-hmm.
And again, the pattern is Myra, and it's Maryland, who is Melanie Berg on Ravelry. So that's a paid pattern on Ravelry.
Yeah.
And I'm really, really
Yeah, it turned
pleased
out
with
really,
the
really
finish.
nice.
Yeah, I really like it. And it's nice kind of summery colors, and because the
lightness
the
of it.
yarn is so light, it'll be a nice wrap for like cooler
When it gets
nights in the
cooler,
summer. Yeah. Yeah.
Which we haven't had lately.
No, we haven't. Oh, well, it's a little cooler today.
Today it is, but it's been a heat wave here in
Yeah.
Canada,
So that's my first finished object. And then the second one, let me grab it here, was my JC sweater. And that is by Isabell Kraemer. Last podcast, I think I was done everything, but it wasn't blocked, and I didn't have all the buttons sewn on.
it.
So the buttons are on, it's all blocked. I actually have worn it one time, but
Yeah.
it was a little bit cooler, but lately it's been a little bit too hot to wear it.
Yeah.
So that is JC by Isabell Kraemer. Again, it's a paid pattern on Ravelry. And this yarn is,
Blue Moon, right?
yeah, it's Blue Moon Fibre Arts. It's their Gaea fingering. which is 100% wool. It's not a superwash, but it really, I mean, like when it was blocked, it really bloomed up nice and feels like really soft and squishy.
Yeah.
And that color is Heckley Speckley, which is, I think it looks neutral, but if you
When
kind
you
of
look
look
up
at it
close,
up close, see
yeah,
if I
you
can
really
put it
see,
up here,
like,
you can really see the different
Yellow and blue
colors
and
that are in
purple
it.
and
So
muted,
yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah. So it'll go with a lot of nice things for the summer too. And again, the sleeves on that I just did a little bit shorter because that was only one hank of the yarn and I was running out. So I just kind of did the sleeves
A
and
little
just
bit shorter.
went as long as I could with the
Yeah.
yarn. So
Nice.
but it's perfect for summer.
Yeah.
Okay, so my next finished objects are basically all socks because I tend to knit socks all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So the first pair here is my Athos socks. Okay, and these, if you hold that up, these are a free pattern on Ravelry. They are by Caoua Coffee. I don't know if I'm saying that right or not, but it's Caoua Coffee. They're called Athos. And these ones, I did them for my husband for Father's Day.
Yep.
So the yarn that I used is the dark gray is Leo and Roxy McSteamy.
Stevie.
And they name all their gray colors after
Grey's Anatomy.
Grey's Anatomy characters. Yeah. So that's McSteamy. And then the kind of the light green is called Pond Scum. And that's Blue Moon Fibre Art Socks That Rock. And I just use that for the little bit of contrast at the top and then the heel. And the pattern I did, I used Susan B. Anderson's Afterthought heel and just did the single line of decreases. So, yeah. And he likes them. They fit, but it's a little too hot to wear them. So we'll put those away till September. Okay, and then the next pair of socks that I have.
Ooh, I like these.
Yeah, these are really pretty.
I love this color.
The color's really nice. So those socks are called Wood Nymph. And they are by This Handmade Life on Ravelry. And again, that was a free pattern. And the pattern is really pretty. It's just nice and delicate. It's a little bit of lace, but not too much.
That pattern it's kind of like a, let's see, like
It looks like a leaf almost, yeah. So it's called Wood Nymph. And This Handmade Life, her name is Olivia, and she actually does have a podcast called My So-Called Handmade Life. And I watched it, and it's really good. Like, she's got lots of good knitting information on there. And these socks are knit in their Leo and Roxy. It's their 80/20 sock.
Yep.
And the main color is Pebble. And it's really pretty.
So
it's
pretty,
like I'd like a sweater in it.
Yeah.
It would be a really nice, just neutrally sweater, but it's basically kind of a really soft beige with a
like
lighter
a taupey color, but then when you look at it again, it's got like
and it's got little flecks of
and
green in it, and it's just really pretty.
Yeah.
And then the heels and toes are also Leo and Roxy, and that is the local yarn shop hashtag 2018 colorway, and it matches it perfectly.
Yeah.
It looks really good with it. So, and I had enough left from the socks that I did in that to do the heels and toes, and I probably have enough to do another set of heels and toes with it. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so those are really pretty. And these are actually, in the last podcast I told you about our friend who went to New Zealand, and he brought me all this yarn back, and I knit him a pair of socks. Well, I thought if I knit him a pair of socks, I have to knit his wife a pair of socks.
Of course.
So those are going to be for her.
Nice.
So I told her they were already finished, but that she had to wait till after the podcast. So it's not like she's going to be wearing them right now anyway. Okay, so that's those ones. And then these ones are Hohi.
Mm-hmm.
Those are Hohi Locatelli's 2-color socks. That's the second pair that I've done of those, but those ones are different because I did them like fraternal twins. Yeah, so the one pair has the gray in the textured stitch, and then this one's got the green in the textured stitch. The yarn is Yarnbird Studios, so that's Suzanne at Knit Stitch in London, and she dyes her own yarn, and that's just, she doesn't really have color names for them, but it's an 80/20 sock, and it's just a light gray and like a mint green almost. And again, that only took like a little over total, like 0.6 of a skein, so I have lots of yarn left in those two to do more socks.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's really pretty.
Yeah, I like this pattern. I like this.
Yeah, the little lace texture. Yeah, I really like the pattern. And again, I did it a little bit differently because the pattern had
a different
heel flap and gusset, and I put in just the afterthought heel with just the single decrease line.
It's like your favorite heel.
It is, but I have
done other ones.
But that is my favorite heel. And again with the toe, same thing. The single line. I don't know if I've got that in the camera. There we go. Just the single line of decreases. And I do like that. I've been doing that more often. So
more
and then
socks?
one more pair of socks. One more pair of socks. So I need those.
Do you have enough sock blockers for all your socks?
So we'll stick that on these
I
again.
like these. I love the pattern of it.
Yeah. So these ones are
Is this
Longing
another...
for Spring, and it's Caoua Coffee, the same one that was the Athos pattern.
Yep.
So this is Caoua Coffee. It's called Longing for Spring, and it's got a really nice lace pattern all through the sock. Again,
Yeah.
I used my favorite heel
I
and
really
toe.
like this, like ribbing.
Oh, that's not in the pattern either, but that's that's just the mock cable. So it's really easy. You don't even need a cable needle. It's just
You'll have to
kind
show
of
me
do
how
a
to do
twisted
that.
stitch.
I
Yeah,
would
yeah. It
like
really
to do
makes
that.
just gives it a little bit more.
Yeah, I
detail.
think for that one exhibition I have, this would look really nice in it. Well, we'll get to that later.
Yeah. Okay.
but-
Okay. Yeah. That's yeah. It would actually.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. We'll get to that later. So those are another pair of socks. These ones I'm not sure. They're either going to go into my gift pile or they might be for me. I'm
Yeah.
not sure. We'll see.
Keep some for yourself.
Well, I
Keep
like to
them all
have.
the
I
way.
like to have. I know, but I like to have some made ahead so that if something comes
Nice
up that
for
you need
gift.
something for, yeah.
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 Nice.
Yeah. So again, and that's the local yarn store colorway.
Yep.
And that was the one I had enough left to do the heels and the toes and the other
And still
socks,
more
and
left.
still more left to
Yeah.
do some more heels and toes.
Yeah, those Leo and Roxy skeins have fair.
I think
amount in them, right?
yeah, I think they're 113 grams.
Yeah.
So they're a little bit more, and yeah, they go. And
Pretty
even if you
far.
wanted to make like knee socks, you'd probably have enough to do a
To
pair
do
of knee
pair
socks
of those.
out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So are
So-
those all your FOs?
Well, except for the ones that are going to be in that we talked about in the beginning.
Earlier, yeah. Those other
So-
socks. So a
yeah.
lot of socks.
So yes, a lot of socks. So, but I do like socks.
So,
Okay, so
onto whips.
yeah, that's it for FOs. We're on to
Okay.
whips. Okay, so my first whip, I just started this the other day because it really bothers me when I don't have socks on the needle, and you gave me a hard time about it in one of the podcasts because I didn't have socks on the needle. So I just started these. Take that out. I've got the yarn divided up, and those are in my little llama bag by Zigzag Stitches.
Yep.
So these socks are, here, do you want to hold that up there? Because I never seem to get it right. Anyways, they're just going to be like a plain vanilla pair, but because it's self-striping yarn, you really don't have to do anything
Pattern,
extra.
I think. Yep.
So these are turtle pearl, and they are striped turtle toes. So she dyes them two separate skeins or hanks so that they're supposed to match exactly. So as long as you start from the same place on each ball, so you got to remember which way you wound it and which
Yep.
way you pull it out, then this sock should turn out
The
exact.
same?
Yes.
Well, that's
Yeah.
cool.
And this is her absinthe colorway, and I really like the color. When you look at the color on her website, it doesn't do it justice.
Yeah.
Because when you see, like, well, you can see in there, like, it's tonal. It's not just a straight color.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's turning out really nice. Anyways, that's the absinthe colorway, and those are going to be socks probably for either dad or one of the boys, because I might as well use up the full
Yep.
the full skein.
Yep.
And I'm just doing it. I just did a plain 2x2 rib. I didn't
Yep.
even put any detail into it. And then the sock, I'm just doing a plain vanilla. I haven't decided yet whether I'm going to do contrasting heels and toes. I actually wanted to put red in it, but nobody agreed with me, so I might not put red in it. I might just maybe do black, or
Yeah.
if I could find something in the green. We'll see when I get there.
Yeah.
I'll have something, or I might just do it in the self-striping, because then when you do the afterthought heel with the self-striping, you get that kind of bullseye effect,
Effect on
and
it
that
too.
looks kind of neat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I'm doing them. I do most of my socks. Actually, I do most of my socks on 2.25 millimeter needles.
Yep. I was gonna say this looks.
It
this
is.
really
It
new-
is.
new
These are
needles?
actually my Haya sharps. I have a little interchangeable sock set, and this yarn is it's 75/25. So it's 450 yards. So I find it feels a little bit finer, like it's 450 yards and 100 grams. But I decided because of that, I'd go down a needle size. So these are like, look how skinny they
Yeah, I
are.
was gonna say they're like even
Those are
tinier
just
than-
2 millimeters. So I'm doing it, and I like the fabric that it's giving. I think
Yeah.
it might have been too loose for what
you
I
hadn't done
like.
it, yeah,
if I did
yeah.
it on the 2.25s. So yeah, so I thought I might as well try the Hayas, and that way my 2.25s are free, and I can start another pair
Yes.
with those.
Yep.
Okay, so that's my first whip.
And then for my first whip, I have socks as well. And I do have actually one almost
I
finished.
don't know, Jacqueline, you didn't have that much of the first one done last time we talked, and now
I
it's
know.
like off
So,
the needles.
I do have the first one, except for the heel, done. And these aren't a a pattern either. They're just
Not really. It's just
what did I do? A one by one rib,
Yeah.
and then a 3x1 for the front down to the heel,
Yep.
and then continued on the 3x1 until the toe.
Yeah.
On the one side, and just stocking stitch on the other side, and then just a normal teal with.
Well, and the 3x1 is really nice because it gives you a lot of stretch this way. So if you're doing socks and you're not really sure what size,
it gives you that flexibility.
Yeah, because if the person's foot's a little bit smaller, it kind of stretches in. If the person's foot's a little bit bigger or leg's a little bit bigger, it's got more stretch to stretch out.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a nice pattern to do if you're not really sure.
Yeah. And these again I'm doing in the Blue Moon Fibre Arts.
Socks that rock?
The
Tigger
Targy.
Yeah.
And it's nice. It's like
it's really
squishy.
nice.
It's nice. And then so I have that one done, and then this much on the second sock. So it's coming along.
Yeah. You got past the 1x1 rib. That takes a long time.
It does. Yeah. That takes.
Oh, you did that 3x1 rib.
What?
You've got 3x1 rib all the way.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do. Look it.
Oh no! Oh.
Sorry.
No, it's 2x2. I did 2x2. I did 2x2, and then I did 3x1, and I did 1x1. This is what happens when you have a baby, and you have a lack of sleep, and like.
Did you start that when Stephanie and Sean were here and you were drinking wine?
No, that's when I cast off the toe, and you have to help me fix it because. Yeah. Anyway, so I have one sock done.
Well, you know what? You really like this though. What we could do is see if Terry's got another ball of yarn in this color at Feather Your Nest, and then you could make 2 pairs, like one pair with, and then you might could have matching pairs. You think about it rather than having to rip all that out.
I didn't even think about that when I started. Wow.
It looks nice though.
It does. Anyway. I have 2 whips, I guess. One half started and one another pair of socks.
Yeah, you thought you had to start another project.
There you go. Okay, so yeah, that's my first working project in progress. So
usually it's me that does that.
You did that on that other
I did,
pair,
and
right?
then I ended up making 2 pairs because I didn't want to rip it all out.
Which we'll have to see because that was on
well, it will depend. She might have it. I'll call her later on today and see if she's got it.
If not,
but we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. We actually could probably cut it. I could cut it.
Yeah.
And then just have to do that. But you're not that far into the
thing that I
the thing. Well, we'll see. We'll figure it out later.
Next podcast. Stay tuned. We'll update you.
Okay. My second whip is in my French bag from Le Bien-Aimé. And this one is actually yarn that Terry brought me back from
Paris?
Middleborough. Yeah. Well, she was at a retreat in Bath, and so she brought that back for me. And the yarn is Olan. Okay, and the Olan is an Irish dyer, and this was the color Quarry. For last time I got that wrong, and this is the right side here. So this pattern is called Ocean Depth, which I think is a really nice pattern, or at least a nice pattern name for this yarn because it kind of looks like that. It's got like all the tealies and kind of oceany colors, but then it's got little flecks of like the yellow and the gold and the corally color, which could be like coral and tropical fish. And anyway, I really like it. The pattern's called Ocean Depth, and it is by She Bought Garn. We'll put that name on the screen because I'm not sure if I'm saying that right or not. Anyways, I actually saw this. I was watching a podcast called Cozy Cute Knits, and it was Naomi, the podcaster, that had done this. And I thought, wow, that's I really like that. And I looked the pattern up, and it was perfect for one skein. So it's nice to have a pattern that you can use up an entire skein when you've got like a special skein of hand painted or And so I've basically already done. You can't really see it all the way because I can't stretch it all out on the needle, but I've done all the pattern that I need to do, and then the balance is just garter stitch. So I'm just going to I've already done, I could cast off according to the pattern, but I'm going to just keep using up the rest of it and make it as long as I can. And it's going to really stretch out this way and pull down, like you can see. It's going to be a lot bigger once it's blocked out. Yeah, so I really like it.
Nice.
So, okay, so that was my second whip.
My second whip, which I was hoping to have more done to this podcast, but I do have a good amount of the length done, so I'm almost pretty much nearing the end
Yeah, you've got a lot done.
Of the
That's a lot
length.
more done. If you looked back at the last podcast, that's a lot more that
More
you've
done,
got done.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess for me, because I just want to make it long enough that I'm not going to, because you said once we block it out, it's going to probably,
It's going to come wider this way, which will take up a little bit of the length.
yeah.
But like you need,
I have
would
a long body, so
yeah,
I want to
and
make
I
sure
would do
that's-
a little, and you've got lots of yarn.
Yeah,
I would do a little bit more, like maybe another couple of inches, and then I'd put it on a longer needle and try it on.
Try it on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
best. I mean, that's the beauty of doing a top down is you
Yeah,
can
you
kind
can-
of try it on.
as you go, right?
Yeah.
So this is my Baldric sweater by Isabell Kraemer, which I'm doing in the Cascades Eco Plus colorway foxglove.
Yeah, it's pretty. I like that color.
And I am excited to have this done. And like I've said before, that once I finish it, I don't care if it's August. I will
But realistically,
still wear it inside.
realistically, you're not going to wear it until.
Oh no, I know
Until-
until the fall.
Yeah,
And probably not till later in the fall. Because,
that's right, because it's a heavier weight.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, I have a good amount done. So yeah, I want to get the length done because I want you to help me pick up the stitches around
For the arms.
The arms.
Yeah,
'cause I know how to do it for the
one that's
part
on the
that's
waist, yarn.
right?
Yeah,
It's
so that you
this
just got to
underneath
put your
part.
needle back through those.
Yep.
And then what we'll just do is you kind of pick up these stitches and knit them as you pick them up.
Yeah.
And then you'll have the whole thing
The whole
joined.
thing.
Yep,
And
and
then
then
you
you
just
can
knit it
knit
around
down
all the
and
way
knit
down.
around all the way down.
And you
and
said
then
I
you'll-
can do this using magic loop,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
So yeah.
Yep, so you can,
hopefully
because you'll have that needle back and that's a long enough cord, so you'll be able to do
to
magic
do
loop
those
with that.
and that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my second.
Yeah, it's coming along.
Coming on.
See, but see, if that was for me, it'd already be long
It would-
enough.
yeah.
That's why I can get more things done, Jacqueline.
Well, that and you're just a fast knitter too, though.
I've been knitting for 50 years.
That is
It
true.
makes a difference.
That is
so.
true. You've had lots of practice.
That's right. Lots of practice. Okay.
Your next
so
whip?
my next whip is my Kestrel,
Yep.
Quince & Co. So this is my yarrow.
It's a Pam Allen pattern,
Yes,
right?
it's Pam Allen. Okay. So that, and again, it looks small there, but it's on a small needle.
Yep.
And because it's so linen, it's going to block out when I block it. But this is yarrow by Pam Allen. I've almost got enough length in it, and then all I'll have to do is the sleeves, and the
Yep.
sleeves are just garter stitched the way down. And in the pattern, I think they just go to about there.
Yep.
So I'm hoping that I have enough yarn. I've got the rest of this ball that'll finish off the body,
Yep.
and then I've got 2 balls, so I'll just use 1 ball for each
For each
sleeve and
sleeve,
see how long it goes.
Yeah.
Okay, and this is Quince & Co. Kestrel, and it's 100% linen.
Yep.
This color is called Byzantium, and it's color number 512. It's a pretty thick weight, like there's 76 yards in a 50-gram ball, so it knits up pretty quickly.
Yeah, it does.
And yeah, it's 100% organic linen. We got this from Rosehaven Farm.
Yes.
Yeah, and I really like it. I'm anxious to get it done, and
Start wearing
it'll be
it.
it'll be nice for cooler nights in the
Yeah.
summer, right? And I don't really have anything that I've knit out of linen before, so I'm looking forward to having that
Favorite
done.
Project, yeah.
So, and I'm doing that on 4.5 millimeter needles. And I know you've heard too, like podcasters say that they don't think that you should say needle sizes.
But it's a good starting point.
Well,
right?
that's what I think. Like if I didn't know at all, like, well, how would I even know what to start with to
Well, 'cause
swatch on?
you know
or
yourself whether you knit
tighter
tighter
loose.
or loose,
Yes.
right? So
Yeah.
then if you have that needle size to start with, then
Yeah.
you can say, oh, well, if this is the basic one, you know that you knit tighter.
Yeah.
You go.
And it's you keep well. I mean, I know that. I mean, if I've used the same yarn and I'm using the same yarn again, then I pretty much know what needle sizes I
Yeah.
need to get a particular gauge. But if
Yeah.
you're knitting with a new fiber, like for instance
Then
the
it's-
linen,
yeah.
you might knit differently with that or with cotton than you do
True.
with
Yep.
yarn. But yeah, I find that having the needle size, because the patterns do have the needle size in there usually. They don't just say
Yeah.
a gauge. They usually have this is the gauge on this needle.
Yeah.
So yeah, to me it gives a starting point of kind of knowing, okay, if I'm going to start to swatch with this, I'll start with that and then figure out from there whether I need to go up or down.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think, yeah. I mean, to each their own opinion.
Well,
but
no,
I think
I know,
that's
but
just
I
a
mean,
good
I think that,
starting point.
that yes, gauge is very important, and everybody doesn't use the same size needles to get it.
Yeah.
But I think having it on as a starting point gives you somewhere to start in order to
yeah.
figure out what to use.
Yeah, for sure. So my next whip is also my Kestrel, which I had just cast on
Last time,
episode,
yeah, I think
so.
you'd not. I don't even know if you'd finished 1 ball yet.
Yeah, I don't even think I was hardly even an inch in.
No, I think you just had to do a join because there was a knot in the.
In the
yarn.
that I did the Russian
Yeah.
join on.
Yeah.
So mine is in my Knits the Best Thing
I know,
bag
that bag's
from
so
Dawn.
nice. Nice.
And I do have a fair bit
I
done.
know. Like,
since
how many
last
balls
time.
did you get into it?
I think I'm on my fourth ball.
Exactly.
So it doesn't
you
actually
did get a lot done.
Yeah, each ball doesn't really go that far.
No,
so.
but it's again, like, you can kind of, when you pull it down and stretch it, but I mean, that's got to be like close to 10 inches, I think.
Yeah, so we'll see, like.
But you might need more.
Yeah, I think I might need more.
Yeah.
So we'll see how
Well,
that goes.
we can order some more.
Yeah.
There's, I think, quite a few places that have it. If you order it from the same place that we got it from, they might even have the same dye lot.
still.
Yeah.
This stuff shouldn't be too bad, right? Hopefully, for like a
To
different
match
dye
up,
lot.
no, and if it is a little bit different, we can just kind of piece them in by doing a couple of rows of one, a couple of rows of another, so that you don't see that straight
Huge
line.
ones.
But I think if we call Rosehaven, they may even still have some of that same dye lot. Yeah.
So yeah, this is my Kestrel project, which is the Davis sweater by Pam Allen.
Yeah.
And hopefully I'll have this done for the end of our knit along.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
my
we've
hope.
got till the end of August. So yeah.
So and it'd be nice to actually be able to wear it this
Yeah.
summer. So
Yeah. But I think it'll be a nice sweater in the fall too.
yeah,
So.
yeah, with a good layering piece
Yeah.
in between. So
Yep.
that's mine.
Okay. And my next whip is actually a crochet project.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the Color Block Market Bag, and it is by Jen Palmer. So that's what I've got done so far. Kind of looks like a little canoe.
A little bit, yeah.
So the bottom and the little bit going up the sides here is just single crochet, and I'm going to do it a little more than what the pattern said because I kind of want it to maybe be about there.
Yep.
And then it goes into a more open pattern after
Yep.
that. So I'll go so far up with my darker teal. I think this color, it's actually Dishy that I'm doing it in, which is 100% cotton. And this color is Kenai. And then the other color I think that I'm going to use is the mint.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so that's a market bag, and I haven't crocheted in a while, and I don't know, it's looking okay.
Yeah, I think it'll look really good once it's done.
So,
Cute little
Yeah,
bag.
yeah,
Little
and it's
summer
just
bag.
got a handle on it that you can put it over your shoulder, and it's nice taking somewhere if you're getting like apples or oranges or something like that, and then
Going
you
to
don't
the
have to put them in a
market.
plastic bag. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
For sure.
okay.
And then my next whip that I'm doing is the Japanese tote bag, and that's from Katie Kissel of Ray and
Well, that's the one they did on. Is that
Ray
the one
and
they
Jean.
did? But that's one that they showed on Espastry
Espastry
Co.
Co.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Yep.
nice.
So it's made of the Bernat Maker cotton, home decor cotton,
Yeah, yeah.
which I have, if you want to hold
Yeah.
that up.
Oh, it feels really nice.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
This is what a ball of it looks like. And it is actually, let me see here, 72% cotton and 28%
Yeah, because it's
nylon.
got a bit of stretch
yeah,
to it.
it's
Jack, and your
squishy.
tension is amazing. Like for garter stitch, it looks so even.
Yeah, so it's just plain garter stitch.
Yeah.
And then the way you fold it
Yep.
makes the bag.
And
then
wasn't there like some sort of formula, like you have to?
it's supposed to be so like 3 by 1 rectangle, right? So
Mhm.
whatever your width is, your height has to be 3
Times that,
times
okay.
that, right?
Okay.
So it when it folds,
Right.
it folds right.
And then and then when you're done, what you?
So then once I'm done that, Mom actually picked up a handle because I had actually gotten the yarn at Michael's here in London.
In London, yeah.
Ontario.
London, Ontario. Yep.
Yeah. And then I looked for a handle or a piece of leather or something, and I couldn't really find anything that I liked at Michael's.
Mhm.
They didn't really have a big selection here. So Mom actually went to Fabricland
Fabricland, yeah.
in Sarnia.
Yep.
And found this handle, which it's not real leather, but it looks
Yeah, it looks
pretty
nice.
nice.
Yeah.
So I think that'll look good together.
Yeah, and it's nice because you don't like, we don't have the bolt things or the, the snap things that you can put on with
Like
one
a
of those
gr- like a
fasteners.
drum,
yeah,
yeah.
yes, but
Yep.
they've got little
got holes
holes
that you
in
can,
the
like,
thing,
sew
so you
it
can sew it
on.
on. If you sewed that on with like a black thread, then you wouldn't even see the
yeah. So I think that'll look really nice.
Yeah, and
together.
it's nice because it's adjustable. So
Yeah.
if you want to make it long enough so that you can kind of put it over one shoulder and down this side, you could.
Or if I really wanted to, I could probably make extra holes
Yeah,
to make it.
yeah. I'd probably have to make extra holes.
Dad could make
to
extra
it shorter.
holes.
but yeah, Dad could make extra
Yeah,
holes.
and then the colorway that I'm doing this in is the cream color as well,
Mhm.
which they had a couple other colors that I really liked too. So if this goes well, maybe I'll make another one, maybe even for gifts.
Yeah,
'Cause,
I
like
think
they
it would
knit
make
up
a
pretty
nice gift,
quickly.
yep.
Like this is only really like a day and a bit of me knitting.
Yeah,
So
Grandma would like one of those.
Yeah,
it'd be a nice
so-
present for her. And you're joined there.
Again,
on this side, you can't even see it.
Yeah, so again, because
it's pretty thick, but
it's pretty thick yarn, but I actually ended up doing the Russian join again for this because like I've only done the one ball so far, but I came to a knot in it, so I had to do that. And actually, this one actually works out even better than the Kestrel because this one's a tube, right? So once you get your darning needle in there, you just really got to pull through it through, and then you're just pulling it together. So yeah, it worked out really well. Okay. And then really like
do one of those.
what do you think? Like, I guess you could just.
I would block it first, right, and see what it does. But I would make sure that all of those go on the inside of the bag, so
and then
just
it
make sure,
really matter. But I could clip these so they're a little bit.
You could clip them a bit.
But really, it's not that big of a deal. No, you're not really weaving in those ends because there's nowhere to weave them into. So
no, it looks nice.
Yeah, so I'm excited to get that done. That'll probably definitely be an FO for next podcast. But yeah, I'm excited to get that done and use it.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, and so my last FO, let me just find it here. Okay, I'm actually doing a sample knit for Terry at Feather Your Nest.
Nice.
So the project I'm doing is bark lines.
Might be a little bit shiny.
Which way?
It's
at the shine, I don't know if you can see that. Anyways, it's bark lines by Locatelli. It's a triangular shawl. It's knit.
It's got like a scallop sort of.
Yeah, it's got kind of a scalloped edge on it. And I'm doing it in a Blue Moon Fibre Arch yarn. Here, I'll let you hold it up because I'm not very good at that. Anyways, the yarn is, what does it say on there? Yaxi fingering.
Yep.
It's Yaxi fingering. It is
60% wool, 20% yak, 20% silk.
Okay, yeah, it feels amazing.
Yeah, it does feel really nice.
So, and this is, all I've done so far is just my swatch. So I've still got to block it and see if I get the right, but the
right gauge.
The right gauge, right, not God. I was saying God before. God.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, tomato, tomato.
Yeah, right. So this yarn, you can see, like, if you look at it, it's got really subtle color changes in it.
Yeah.
And it feels
really, really nice.
And I think it's going to have nice drape in the pattern, and it's going to show off the stitch definition of the pattern really well.
And this is the colorway Bladder
rack on the rocks.
I'm sure that's probably a reference to something.
It must be a reference to something, but I'm not sure what it is.
Yeah. But it's really pretty.
Yeah, and I think that I should be able to get it all out of 2 skeins. Yeah. I'm hoping that I can get it all out of 2 skeins. If not, I've got another one anyways. And I will alternate skeins through it just because even though the coloring is really subtle, I don't want to see a definite line when I switch from one to another. Yeah. So I'll alternate skeins throughout it. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting that started. So I'm going to block that out. And if that's right, I'll be probably starting that tonight.
Yeah. Thanks.
So
that's it for our whips.
That's it for our whips.
Okay.
Okay, so now we're going to show our acquisitions, which we're not supposed to have any, but we seem to always have some.
Yeah.
So, okay.
You go first?
I'll go first. Okay, so this is some yarn that I got from Old Oak Yarns. And Old Oak Yarns is Adrian, that's actually here in London, Ontario. So my first one here is a skein of her sock yarn, and it's called Hardwood Base Sock Yarn, and it is 75 superwash merino, 25% nylon. And this colorway is Berries and Bramble, which I think is really pretty. Yeah. I know, like when you open it up, you can see even more colors in it. But yeah, so you can see there's like the browns and the pinks, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to knitting some. I think I might do myself some socks with it. And maybe put like that pink in for the heel and toes or something. Nice. Yeah. Okay, so that's a full skein of that. And then she had minis, and the minis are just like so adorable. And one mini will do like a pair of baby socks, or heels and toes or various other things. So I got 5 different mini skeins. So the first one is just called, I wrote the names down, and I think that I'm right. The name's not on the label, but this first one is a green, and it's called, where is it here? Canopy Craze. So it's kind of like the jungle or the rainforest. And then this one here is called Step Into Spring, and it's got like the lime, it's got some blue, just really pretty. It's got some purple, and that would make really cute baby socks.
Yeah, it would.
So, and then this one is called flowering plum. So it's kind of darker on the one end, and then it kind of like fades out in this end. It's got like the light green and some pale pinks and mauves and really pretty. The red, I can't remember what the red's called, but it's red. Anyways, I thought this one would be really good because I want to make more Christmas socks, and I thought if I did like a natural color and then put the heels and toes in the red,
yeah.
and if I do the natural, I can put like a design in it, either cables or lace or something, and then add a little punch with the red.
Yeah. Sure.
And then this last one is called, I knew all these names before, now I've forgotten them all. This one is called, I don't know. Phoenix.
Phoenix. I was gonna say, like, it looks like sunset or something.
Yeah. So this is called Phoenix. Yeah, it's really pretty too. And again, I think if you took like a plain color, like even like a gray or something, and then popped in heels and toes with, I know I like more color than
Yeah, you do.
So I think that would look really cool. So that's, oh, Joe, did you want to see those? That's like plastics for babies.
Here's Sophie instead.
Okay. So what do you have, Daphne?
So my first one, that Zoe likes too, is
Gray your colors, oh?
take one out. Is Blue Moon Fibre Arts Crackpacka, and it is a breakdown of 45% baby alpaca, 45% superfine merino, and 10% silk. And the colorway is called Manly Yes, but I like it too.
So it's gray.
Yes, it's
basically,
gray, of
but
course.
it's really, it's got nice,
Twist to it.
yeah, it's got a nice twist. It feels nice
Feels
and
really
soft.
nice.
It's also got, it's very tonal. Like you can see that there's almost like darker almost to black in there.
Yeah.
So I think it's gonna look really nice in it up.
Yeah. So I'm gonna make the hipster shawl.
Yeah, that'll
in
look
this
really nice in a
because,
hipster.
Yeah, I've seen too many people now knit one up, and
Yeah.
I want one.
And it's a fast knit because it's basically a lot of garter stitch and it's on big needles and
Yeah. So this will most likely be the next thing I cast on.
Yeah.
I think, even though I've got lots of wool to cast on, I think this
that'll
is the
be
next
really
project.
nice.
Yeah.
And this is, I actually got some crack packet too. And I don't know, I just can't resist the feel of it.
Yeah.
And, this color is called I Smell Snow.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, like I could buy yarn based on the name of the color. I'm not saying winter's my favorite season, but I like that first part of winter where you just get like a little light
Snow.
snowfall and
Yep.
yeah, and this just makes me think of that, and to have a nice cozy shawl to wrap up in.
Yep.
So anyway, this yarn, the Crack Packer, we got at Feather Your Nest
Yes.
in Sarnia, and yeah, I have a hard time resisting yarn. So, do you have any other acquisitions?
I
Jacqueline?
do. Do you want to take this little
I will
monkey?
take her. Come here. Hi, Zoe.
So I have some more yarn from Blue Moon Fibre Arts, which is in their Super Sparkle, which is 92% superwash merino wool and 8% lurex. So my plan is with these is to make socks for gifts for Christmas for people. So the two colors that I picked up are Heirlooms, which is this color, which has kind of got blue, light blue, a maroon, green color, and I think this will make really pretty socks. Probably just a vanilla pair of socks, 'cause I think that'll
Yeah,
really
when
showcase
you've got
the
all that
colors.
color in it, yeah.
Lots.
And you could actually do like your heels and toes and cuffs in that, and then do the vanilla in.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm excited to use this one too, though, because this one's called Fur Evergreen.
Yeah, I
and
did
it's-
socks in that, and they turned out really
Yeah,
nice.
the color of this green is really pretty. So this is the one I was talking about earlier when you did that fake,
Oh, yeah,
the
that
faux
fake-
cable
yep, they
cuff
look
on
really
them.
nice
That
with
would look
that.
really nice with this.
Yep.
It might be another pattern for me to learn too,
Yeah.
right? So
Yep.
we'll see. Maybe I'll try a new actual pattern in the
Yeah.
socks for this pair, but
Well, even if you just do that in a cuff, then you don't really have to do anything else
too
in
much
the body
more.
of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, those. That's the rest of my acquisitions.
Okay,
No more.
I have a couple more, so I'll give Zoe back to you.
What are you saying?
So I am going to try and get some weaving done before next podcast. And I actually picked up these two skeins to do. I want to do a couple of shawls. And I really like when you do a shawl weaving and you do color pooling. So these are Blue Moon Fibre Arts, and this is the Tigger Targi.
Again, yeah.
Yeah, the Tigger Targi is really nice. This color, here's my skein. That color is called Free Range Chickens. And these two skeins are both what we call a palindrome skein.
Yep.
Like, do you know what a palindrome is?
Well, you had explained it to me before, but
Well,
it's so pretty much that if you measure it right, you can go back and forth and get a pool of the same color.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, a palindrome, if you're talking about a palindrome like in
Same
a word,
forwards
it
and
means
backwards,
it's spelled
right?
the same forwards as backwards.
Yeah.
So if you take a skein and it's a palindrome skein, you should be able to position it so that, like that. So the colors, basically, it was dyed across the skein. So that, on the end we've got gray on both sides, darker gray in the middle, goes to the burgundy. So it matches up. So if you do this and put it on your loom, if you measure out the diameter of this and then do a multiple of the diameter, you can get the colors to pool when you do a scarf. So I'm going to try and do that with this one and also with this one. And this one is called Graple because it's grape and
Yep.
gray.
Yep.
And it's pretty too. So it's got the really,
Oh, do you like that?
so
You
are
like
you want the
that
scarf
color?
in that color? It's got the really kind of bright, vibrant purple, but then you have to figure out where it does it to get your, there we go. Okay, so you get it lined up, and I'm actually gonna, once I do this one, I'm going to use like a dark gray for the weft, and then that'll really tone down the dark purple thing. Yeah. So hopefully I'll get at least one of those done by next podcast, and then I want to get a couple done and put them away for some Christmas gifts. And again, the Tigger Targi I got at Feather Your Nest. Yeah. And then my last acquisition, and I didn't buy this one.
All right. This is a gift.
Yes, this was a gift. And sorry for all the sprinkles, but this was from my son, Daniel, who went to Japan not too long ago, about a month ago maybe, and he brought me this back, and he actually searched out a yarn store,
Yep.
like online, searched out a yarn store, figured out how to get there, because
Yeah.
I think he had to go on like public transit and that to get
Oh,
there, but
yeah.
he figured out how to get there, and then he went in, and basically nobody spoke English, so he was trying to buy, he said he wasn't sure what he wanted, but he was trying to buy yarn for me.
And something different that you wouldn't
Yeah,
necessarily
it's
get.
really cool. So, like, when you go there, I guess, he said they've got all different cones of all different yarn, and you pick out the yarns that you want, and then they,
Spin it together.
yeah, well, it's not really
Not
spun,
spin, but
they, like, wind it all
Yeah.
together for you. So then when I'm going to do a couple of shawls in them, then you get kind of like a really neat effect. I know it's 200 grams, but I really don't know what the weight's going to be, but looking at the three together, I think it's going to be relatively thick, so I think I'm going to look for like a summer shawl that like in a looser texture. I'm going to have to do like a gauge swatch and figure out what is best to do with it, like what size of pattern, whether it be like a Aran or a bulky or whatever. And I kind of looked it up online. The yarn store is actually called, it says here on the bag, Avril, and there's a website. So I went to the website to look it up, and as far as I could figure out, in this yarn here, I believe that 2 of the strands are 100% cotton, and then the one's a silk tweed, so it's like a cotton silk blend, so it'll make a really nice, really nice shawl for summer. And then this one, so that one's more in the yellow tones, and then this is more in like the greens and teals. And these are, again, they're different yarns than what's in this one, but again, they're like, I looked them up and they're like silks and cottons, so it's going to make a really nice, really nice shawl for it. Yeah, so thanks, Daniel. I'm really looking forward to making something with that. And it certainly, I haven't seen anything like that here. At least not to anywhere that I've been in Canada. Yeah, so that's my last acquisition. Yeah. So now we're going to move on to
our pieces.
So
for our pieces section?
I don't have any pieces.
You don't have any?
I don't have any pieces. I want to get weaving done, and I haven't done it yet.
I have one.
And they look delicious.
And it is my very favorite cookie recipe, which is a dark chocolate and caramel sea salt chocolate chip cookie.
These are so good.
And I've made them countless times. You can switch up. It's a really good base cookie recipe, and then you can switch up whatever you put in it. I've done them with dark chocolate and cherries. It's really good. I passed the recipe along to one of my brothers who's made various.
And Daniel, who is definitely not a cook, and yet his cookies turned out amazing.
Yeah. And this one has not had one yet. Still too little. No teeth yet.
These are so good, Justin.
But I'm sure she wants one. She's always very curious when I'm
You better put the link to the...
Oh, yes. The cookie recipe, the original recipe, is from a blog called Eat, Live, Run. But we'll link the recipe down below.
I'm gonna have to run after all these cookies.
But yeah, she has some really awesome recipes, but like this cookie one is a definite winner. So that's
Chocolate made them last night while I was here.
Yep.
And we had a few out of the oven.
Fresh cookies.
They were so good, but
Knitting, wine, cookies.
That's right.
Makes sense. Yeah.
I stopped actually knitting. Had wine and cookies. So that's it for
That's
pieces.
it for pieces for this section.
So that's it for this.
For this week's
Episode
podcast.
then.
Yeah.
So we want to thank everybody for watching.
Yep.
Join in the knit along.
Subscribe to all those people.
Subscribe to
join the Ravelry Group.
Yep.
Those
if you
are
want to.
participating in the knit along.
Yep. So take care till we see you again, and happy knitting.
Yep. Happy knitting. Bye.